Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be talking about a term called intrusive thoughts, um, which is an underlying condition of anxiety, which then propels into OCD. Um, I've been suffering with debilitating intrusive thoughts since I was 16 years of age. And for anyone who doesn't know what they are completely fabricated thoughts and scenarios created in the mind which tricks you to believing that you've done something when you haven't. And the thoughts can range from multiple various scenarios. It can range from you sitting in a car and wondering, oh, what would it feel like if I just drove into that wall or that tree? Or what would it feel like if I just shouted fuck or something along them lines out at the top of your voice at the middle of the supermarket? You know, that reaction, that your mind's wanting that reaction and that urge to, that physical urge of what would it feel like. But there's another side of intrusive thoughts which I suffer with, and they range from sexual graphic thoughts to violent thoughts, um, and to thoughts of sexually acting out with a religious leader. Um, and they hit upon people um, that are completely opposite to what the thoughts are. Um, so just imagine you sitting here with friends, or you're at a party, or I don't know, you're distracted, you're at a theatre, you're doing something that you really, really, really enjoy. When all of a sudden, boom, a thought comes into your head, and it just triggers you with this. I can't explain it, but like this fight or flight response, your whole body just. It's like a warm static fusion going up to your body from your head to your toes, and it's this tingling sensation, and it's debilitating. It's horrible. And when I've been in these situations, there's been many times where it was just so overwhelming. I couldn't comprehend with the thoughts, and my only reason was to self-sabotage. So I'm going to read a little excerpt from my book, and which is called The Devil Makes Work for Creative Hands. And a huge thank you to everyone who has pre-ordered. It is available on Amazon now for a 1st of July release, so a big thank you. And this chapter is called The Uninvited on page 94. I'm not going to read what I try to do to myself, because one, I don't want to be triggering anyone off on my social media, and two, I don't want to be spoiling the read for anyone. But I did something to myself, self-harm, and my dad rushed me to hospital. I was a hairpiece away from death and needed immediate medical help. Initially, the medical professionals were considered eradicating the antifreeze by pumping vodka into my blood, but it didn't come to this. I spent a whole grueling week being medically treated by the brilliant NHS team in a high dependency ward based at Staincliffe Hospital. The medics guessed that my survival rate was borderline during the first few days of being admitted. The hospital never had an incident concerning antifreeze poisoning, so the only answer was to contact the Royal Hallamshire Hospital based in Sheffield for immediate medical advice. I just cannot thank the NHS enough for their unwavering support. Still naive at the time, I didn't entirely comprehend the jeopardy I had put myself or my family in. I remember the hospital being a safe haven for me, as I felt protected from my intrusive thoughts and any other peril which came with this. 2 days prior to my discharge, I glanced out of my hospital window, witnessing the foggy scene of the car park and feeling once again threatened by the menacing triggers of the outside world. Upon hearing that I had to stay an extra night for my blood levels to stabilise, it was a relief and I felt safe again. The following morning after I was discharged, I had the first of many home treatment sessions with Emma, a brilliant psychiatrist who provided me with a better understanding of my own psychosis. Another young woman also came along with Emma as a nurse on work placement. She gave me an explanation from a professional perspective, what the term intrusive thoughts meant, as opposed to what I had previously learnt on an online forum. She also booked me in for an appointment at the Priestley unit, based at the hospital, for a pre-CBT assessment on my delirium. This assessment did heal me to the extent that it helped me to cope and strengthen my stamina in battling with my demons. The professional who explained in great detail of my recent manic episode spoke of a man who was experiencing the same thing as what I had. He was 99.9% cured after an extensive recovery program. A daily dose of fluoxetine and diazepam elevated my mood, although the trepidation did seep back in. On Saturday the 10th of November 2012, I decided to decrease the dose of my diazepam after following advice from Emma. I had no tendency of ruminating by the end of 2012. I was due another CBT home visit session in January 2013 by a male professional. I decided that I didn't need any more psychoanalysis from professionals, feeling I had the strength to transition back to the normal self again. I did experience a minor intrusive thought in fear that I would purposely cut my throat with a razor blade. This thought became rooted in my mind as I casually shaved my facial stubble. It was disturbing. I had to distance myself from the razor blade just in case my mind controlled me to do it. So yeah, I'm not going to read anymore. I'm going to leave it for you lot to read, because again, I don't want to be triggering anyone. But that's what intrusive thoughts do. Like I just said, when intrusive thoughts seeped back into my mind, I was just shaving my facial stubble, and all of a sudden I just felt, what would it feel like if I slit my throat? It is overwhelming and it is overpowering, and I've never ever spoken publicly like this about it before. But I just wanted to give you a little taster of the book. And I do speak about many other manic episodes which I have, and recent ones which I have had. And I just hope it helps anyone who suffers with depression and anxiety. I don't want to be dampening the style too much. There is humorous whimsical anecdotes in here, especially from the people that I've met when I've been performing at gigs, etc. And it just focuses on my process as an artist and an animator. So, you know, if you do want to read more, it's all compiled from my journal entries. There's visuals in there and everything. I'd hugely appreciate it if you want to pre-order on Amazon now. The Devil Makes Work for Creative Hands. I hope that excerpt wanted you to understand and to take in various elements of mental health in your stride. So The Devil Makes Work for Creative Hands, Amazon. You can pre-order now. Thank you very much, and Good Friday. Thank you, I really appreciate it.